Hello lovelies, it's Lex, and I have the answers for my Q&A video. You guys sent me some questions, and hopefully I have some answers for you here. Right at the bat, I just want to thank everybody that sent me some questions. I did get a pretty decent amount here, so yeah, apologies if I pronounce anybody's YouTube handle name incorrectly. But yeah, here we go. Alright, so the first question is from PikaSquid12345. They asked me, will I ever show my face? Which is the $1 million question. I get that one semi-frequently, and there isn't really a good answer as to why I don't. The best answer is that I don't have a camera. My computer does not have a built-in webcam, and I know that I could use my phone, but I'm lazy, and I would have to find a way to hook up the phone. Excuse my phone going off right now. It must have heard me talking about it. But yeah, I would have to use my phone if I really wanted to, or I would have to go out and buy a camera, which I just don't really have the money to do that right now. So I may end up doing it in the future. I don't know. I'm also nervous about it. I don't know. I don't know if people would be like, ah, you're ugly, and then they don't want to watch my channel anymore. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing to be self-conscious about. I don't know. It's also a weird thing to put your face out there when you haven't done it for the longest time. So it's a possibility, but right now I just don't actually have the means to do it. So I got a couple of questions here from MG, who has sent me some questions on my previous Q&A here as well. So MG's questions are, the first one is, do I have any plans for the future? And if so, what plans do you have? Oh my God, that's such a hard question to answer. I don't have life goals. I don't know if that's a thing. I would maybe like to go back to school. I don't know. I was going to school for nursing, and I kept failing a math class. I failed this math class 4 times, and I just got super pissed off and ended up just not finishing the degree that I was going for. I do basically have an associate's in psychology. I love psychology. I took every single psychology class that my school that I was going to offered. So I was thinking about doing my associate's in psychology and then getting a degree in nursing and then working for the VA, which is the Veterans Hospital. I don't know if they have that everywhere, but that's a thing we have in the US is Veterans Hospital. So that was something I was going to do. But if I do have any big plans besides still doing my YouTube channel and working at my job that I have now, I would possibly go back to school. But I think that if I did, I would go back to school to be a veterinary technician instead. I love animals. I'm sure you guys know that from being on the channel. I have tons of pets, and I've always loved animals, so I always thought that that would be a good career for me. The next question is, are there any video game genres that I don't like? And would I be willing to play a game of that genre just to give it a try? There aren't a ton of video game genres I'm not into. I play puzzle games, I play word games, I do first-person shooter stuff, I do some strategy and tactic games, I guess some role-playing games too, so there isn't really any certain genre that I'm not big into. The only genre that I'm not big into that I can think of is anything that's multiplayer. I don't like multiplayer games. I don't know. I get too competitive, for one thing, if it's just a racing game or something like that where you would play a local multiplayer, but a lot of the online multiplayer games I'm just not into. I never got into World of Warcraft. I never played Halo Online. I never played, I don't know, Call of Duty Online, Splatoon, any of those games. I'm just not super into multiplayer stuff because I'm so competitive. If I'm playing with somebody and they mess up a whole bunch, it really irritates me, and then I blame them for us not winning, and I don't know, I just could never really get into multiplayer stuff. But I have tried to play a few multiplayer things. That is something that I would try to do in the future. I know I've had a couple people ask me if I was going to play PUBG at all. I don't own PUBG. I know it's free to play, or I think it's free to play. I don't know if it's free to play, but those are the type of games that I would love to play, but the community can be so shitty, and they just kill people for no reason as soon as they spawn in and all that kind of crap. So I don't know. It's something that I may try, but I may or may not do it. Their next question is, what is my opinion on the belief that violent video games make people violent? Do I agree with that or not? I think that the belief that people get violent from playing video games makes me violent against those people. I do not agree with it. I think it's total bullshit. I've been playing, I guess you could say, violent video games since I was 5, and I did well in school. I never got a detention. I never got in trouble. I've never been arrested. Like, I've never done anything bad ever. And I don't know anyone that's personally done anything bad. I think that people like to make that their scapegoat for when something goes wrong with a person. They like to say, oh, well, they played violent video games. That must be the problem, when they probably had all sorts of other stuff going on personally anyway. So I don't think that it affects people at all in that way. I think that that's just an excuse that news media and stuff likes to use, like I said, as a scapegoat for other problems that people have. Their next question is, what is my favorite ice cream flavor? This one is hard. I am a popsicle or Italian ice person way more than I am an ice cream person. I do like ice cream, but if I had the choice between an ice cream and a popsicle, I'll always go with the popsicle. But I love just like classic, like French vanilla. I love French vanilla. I like chocolate peanut butter. I like butter pecan, mint chocolate chip. I'm not a picky person, so like I'll really eat any kind of ice cream that you give me. But yeah, I don't necessarily have a favorite just because I'm more into like popsicles or Italian ice slushy kind of things more than I am ice cream. And then their last question is, will I ever do a face reveal? So I kind of already answered that one. But yeah, I will maybe. I don't know. It's a thing. We'll have to do a vote. Maybe I'll put a poll. I'll put a poll in this video. Should I do a face reveal whenever I get a camera? Because I don't have one because I'm poor. All right. The next person that sent me a question was Animania, is how I'm going to say that. Could be incorrect. Their first question was, could I ever do Sims 4 tutorial videos? I never know how to do these. I have had a couple other people ask me for them as well, and I'm not exactly sure what people want in the tutorial. So if there's some kind of like specific thing that you need a tutorial for, I would be happy to do one for you, but I'm not ever sure like how to do that. You know what I mean? Like if you were having trouble making loft beds or something like that, I could definitely do a tutorial like totally explaining how to make loft beds. Or if you needed a tutorial on, I don't know, how to do like spatial awareness for rooms or something like that, I could do that, but I need something specific that you need a tutorial on for me to be able to do it, if that makes sense. Their next question is, do I like cats? I love cats. I have 3 kitty cats. I have a cat named Jazargo. He is the first cat that we got. He is about 6 years old, I think, and he is named after Jazargo from Skyrim, from the Elder Scrolls. And then the next cat I have is Biddy. She's like a little calico cat. Well, she's not little. Body-wise, she's very fat, but proportionate-wise, she's way smaller than our other 2 cats that we have. And we renamed her. Her name was Addie, and then we renamed her Biddy just because she's a little bitty baby, and she's like an old biddy, like a mean old lady. She's not very nice. She's nice to me, but she's not necessarily always nice to other people. She's about 7 maybe or 8. We're not actually sure exactly how old she is. All of my cats were like adopted, so we're not totally sure on like their exact backgrounds. We know that Jazargo was a stray that somebody brought in, and then they turned him over to the Humane Society because he was peeing in their house, like marking their house. But the reason he was marking their house is because they never got him neutered. So if you don't know a lot about cats, like if you have just like intact male cats, they will pee on everything to like mark it as their own stuff. But if you get them neutered, they don't do that anymore. So it was that person's fault that he was doing it, but we're happy we got him anyway. And then Biddy had like a rough start. She was like passed around between 3 or 4 other people that we knew before we ended up getting her. And we were actually only supposed to keep her temporarily, but we had her for like 2 weeks, and I didn't want to give her away to anybody else. We were just supposed to be like holding her until the person that left her with us could find somebody to keep her. But I really, really liked her, and I didn't want to give her back, so we ended up keeping her. And then the third cat I have is Strider, and he is named after Strider Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings. We were going to name him, well, originally we were calling him Loki, and then I just didn't like that. And then we were thinking about naming him Maik, since I have a Jazargo. We were like, oh, we should name the new cat Maik, like Maik the Liar from Skyrim Elder Scrolls, but it just didn't fit for him. He was a porch cat. My brother's girlfriend had a lady that she worked with, that a cat that just like lived on her property, it was not her cat, came up on their porch and had a litter of kittens. So they were trying to find people to take these cats so they didn't have to drop them off at Humane Society kind of thing. So we went out to look at them, and we picked out Strider. He was only about 5 or 6 weeks old when we brought him home, which is way too young to have a cat. Don't bring cats home when they're that young. And he only weighed about a pound. He fit in my hand. He was the cutest, tiniest little floofy butt ever in the world. And he's my little baby, and he likes to follow me around. He's the one that plays fetch. So if you've ever seen that video on my YouTube channel, he is my kitty cat that likes to play fetch. The next set of questions I have are from Dan Lordway. He is my moderator on my live streams and is usually really active on my channel, which I appreciate. So he left me a pretty decent amount of channel questions here. So the first one he asked was, is there a franchise that I cannot live without? That probably would be Fallout or the Elder Scrolls games. I really, really like them. Well, maybe not the Elder Scrolls games as much. I played Skyrim a ton. I hated Oblivion. When Oblivion came out, I was super, super excited for it, and I just absolutely hated it. But Fallout 3 is my absolute favorite game, and I don't know, like, what I would do with my whole life if I never played that game. So Fallout or any of the Elder Scrolls, like, series is probably a franchise that I couldn't live without. Pretty much a lot of Bethesda games. I love Bethesda games. His next question is, can we have more Nikki on the channel? I would love to have more Nikki on the channel. If anybody doesn't know, Nikki is my bestie friend, and I've done maybe 1 or 2 Sims videos with her on the channel. She has her own YouTube channel as well, where she does a lot of Sims stuff and kind of like some vloggy stuff as well. But I would love to have her on the channel every single video with me, but she lives almost an hour away from me, so it's hard to get to spend as much time with her as I would like to. Whenever she's down here, we always plan to like do a video together, but we're always busy talking and just catching up and doing other things, because I generally see her maybe once a month, maybe twice a month if it's a good month. But I would love to do a lot more videos with her. We're hoping that she'll have some more free time, maybe coming up here soon, and maybe we'll be able to spend the night or spend a weekend or something, and we'll be able to do a bunch of videos together, some for my channel and some for her channel, which I think would be really, really fun. Like I said, she likes the Sims stuff, so usually we probably would do Sims things together. We actually are planning on doing, hopefully the next time that she's down, I've known her since I was like 13 or 14 years old, and we used to have what we called like Sims sleepovers, and I would go over to her house with my laptop, and we would play The Sims 2 all the time, and she would play on her desktop and I would play on my laptop. And we made this family one time that was like the most messed up family in the entire world. So we're planning on maybe doing a video together where we remake that family, but in Sims 4, and see what, shenanigans that they can get to. The next question that Dan asked me is, will I make any videos that talk about gaming topics or like the history of games? And then he put as an example like the history of The Sims. I don't do a ton of, I guess, like historical informative videos. If anybody wants me to do one, I could try to do one. Definitely I could try to do one on The Sims, but I don't know if I would be able to necessarily do them on any other series. I have played all of the Sims games, but like for Fallout, for example, I've played Fallout 3, I've played some of New Vegas, and I played Fallout 4, but I have not played like the original Fallout or the second Fallout. I think I played Fallout Tactics maybe once for a very short period of time, but I don't have like the best knowledge on that kind of stuff, so I would end up having to do a ton of research and all this other crap. The next question he asked me is, why is the channel called Ropodog? I've gotten this question before, and I can't remember if I've answered it before or not, but the channel is called Ropodog because when I was growing up, I had a lab dog named Rosie, and she was the best dog in the world, and she lived till she was 18, and she was the best puppy ever. But I never really called her Rosie. I would call her Rosie Posey all the time. Then that got shortened to Ropo. So I used to call her Ropo all the time. So she was my Ropo dog. So that's why just became my like handle for all of my stuff. Just as like I said, we had her for 18 years. Like I had this dog forever, and she was such a good dog. So that ended up kind of being, I guess, the like reason that all my stuff is that. But that's the only reason that the channel is called Ropodog. It doesn't really have any other meaning except that I miss my puppy. She was such a good dog. Yeah, but that's why the channel is called that. The next question he asked is, why is Lord Way's channel the best channel, which is his channel, being a little saucy over there, aren't you? Actually, I really like Dan's channel. If you guys haven't checked out Dan's channel, you probably should. He does gaming videos as well. He plays a lot of different games from what I do, which is nice because we don't do a lot of the same things, so there's always something interesting for, you know, me to watch on his channel or him to watch on mine. I have been slacking on that. Before you leave a comment, Dan, I know I have been slacking on keeping up with your videos. He's been doing a lot of BioShock, and I got behind in it, and I don't want to watch like newer episodes until I watch the old ones, and I just don't have any free time because I'm a very busy person. So I'm trying to catch back up on that, but you guys should check out his channel if you're into BioShock. He has a lot of Grand Theft Auto stuff. I'm trying to think. He has a lot of series that like go into like political stuff if you're into that kind of thing. He does gaming news stuff, which I actually end up getting a decent amount of my gaming news stuff from him or from Jim Sterling, actually, because I don't keep up on a ton of gaming news. But yeah, if you're into that, you definitely should check out his channel. That's why it's the best channel. And then the last question that he asked me here, this is probably going to be the last question that I answered, is what advice would I give to any other small channels, either that are starting out or they're just like, you know, small channels? I'm definitely a small channel. I don't know. I guess just like keep up with the grind of it. Like, don't get discouraged if people aren't watching your videos. Don't just like give up if you don't have a ton of people watching your videos. Because I mean, even now, I never necessarily have like 200 views on a video or something. The only videos I have that have a ton of views like that are videos that have been on my channel for a really long time. I'd also say don't ever just make a channel to think that you're gonna like blow up and make a bunch of money, because that doesn't usually happen. Just do it because you like doing it. Like, don't ever force yourself to do it. Don't be like, oh, I have to record and I don't want to. Just if you ever like that, just don't make a video. Like, you should only be making videos when you want to make them. You should only be making videos that are content that you want to make. So never feel like you need to force yourself to do something just to put something out there, because that will make it not enjoyable for you anymore. I'd say try to upload as frequently as you can if you're enjoying doing it, just because I feel like the more that you can upload and get content out there, the better chance there is for other people to see it, or, you know, try to get your videos shared on different platforms. I share pictures of all of my Sims builds on Instagram. I post my Sims builds to Reddit. I try to put my videos out there on a couple different platforms so that more people will be able to see them. Not necessarily so that I get more views or so that I get more whatever, but just that if you're trying to grow your channel, you can expose yourself more that way. If you kind of like put the effort in to try to get your videos out on multiple platforms, it definitely helps. I would say stay away from sub for sub things. Because they're just total garbage. Like, if somebody leaves you a comment and they're like, hey, sub for sub, like, that's not worth your time. They might subscribe to your channel, but they're not gonna necessarily actually watch your videos or be engaged in anything. You shouldn't care about how big your audience is as long as you're getting engagement from your audience, is how I always look at it. Like, if you have 1 million subscribers, we'll say, but you're only getting 100 views on each video, well, you have a very, very, very bad return of people that are, you know, keeping track of what you're doing and being engaged in what you're doing. But if you only have 100 subscribers, you only have 30 subscribers, but you get 30 views on a video or 50 views on a video, I think that's really good. It's a good turnaround for it. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the Q&A video. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Thank you very much for supporting my channel, sending me questions to answer for you. I hope that my answers were substantial and that everyone was okay with the answers that they got. But yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see everybody later on.